Right, welcome back to part 2. Obviously, if you're still with me, you want to see this tool work. Right, now the benefits of this with this tool and why I designed this, because this was what, see, these bars are cut by water jet. Okay, and I had a bit of trouble getting the bars again for a little while, but I've managed to source them again. This was my own design. I designed this myself, and the reason I did, because when you tend to use most of these following type tools, swan necks, you need your tool rest right out here so you can come in, and you've got to have your swan bit past your tool rest. But that makes them very grabby, and I don't like that. I like to try, all my tools I try to design that they can be used catch free, so you don't get no catches with them, and that you can control them. Right, now with this one I can have the tool rest as close as that, because when I come in here I'm supported. When I come in here I'm supported, and when I go in over there I'm supported. So I can actually start with this tool from a hollowing position here, work my way in, and then cut right in and under and go with just the minimum size hole. That's how this tool works. So right, let me power on. I'm still at the same, I'm still at 2,800 RPM. Right, and now I can come in here and I can nicely just come in. Now, I'm using this on a short handle version, okay? I made this one especially with my short handle for these small items, because I don't need the long handle, because I don't get any of this going on because of the way the cutting. You work off the tip of the cutter, so you're not scraping. Don't come off the side here, don't try and do that, off the tip, so it cuts. I can go in, you can't get a catch on the bottom, you can't get a catch on this side because there's no cutter. On the bottom you can't catch, you can't get no catches. Look, I can put it in, I can feel where I'm going, and then as soon as I turn that tip, as you can see, cutting. And I can remove a lot of wood very quickly. Okay, and I can actually come right back here. Look, I'm not having to move my tool rest. My tool's supported all the time for the whole of it. And if you're going deeper, well then you can be over there, and you still won't get this action because of the way the cutter's fitted. The way I fit my cutter is what makes it work. Now if I want to come across the bottom I have to come over a bit, but this isn't really for the bottom. If you want to get the bottom flat, then you use your other tool. You can go straight in and use that. This is purely for getting out the sides, okay? That's purely what it's tool's for. Now, I've got to concentrate on what I'm doing because I don't want to come out. Right, now, I'm going to work my way in under this lip. Now, like I said, I'm working off the front of the cutter, so I'm cutting this side at the moment. I'm not cutting underneath. I mean, when you do come to this point here, then, well, you're working off of this little bit of the cutter, and you are getting more of a scrape than a cut. But you can't have everything. I can't sort of do everything. So, but it works good. Now I can use it here, so I can come right in here. Now I can come back along, clean that up. And as you can see, no catching. The tool hasn't done this once, not once. Big cut there, big cut. Right, I've got to be careful now because I don't want to come through that edge. Right, now, I can even do, look, one-handed. I I don't recommend you do it, but look, one-handed. Here's my other hand. That's how good this tool works. That's how good that tool works. So look, I'm right under here. Bit of sawdust in there. Right, now I've got a lovely undercut. I'm right under, I'm up to here. Okay, now I've got a little nipple in the bottom there. My little dibble in the middle. I've got to take that off. Which, oh, actually, no, look, I went too deep. Oh, well, there you go. It shows you how effective the tool is. It's like it's gone right round underneath. I'm actually past that. I'm into here. The cutter goes past it. I'm into there, and I've actually cut. I don't know. I've not come through because that wood's still quite thick there. That wood is still quite thick. I reckon that's. Actually, did I ever? Yes, I had a knot. That's a knot. No, there's a knot. No. Oh well. Right. Well, I'm going to carry on with it for the moment because that's neither here nor there. I'm not keeping the piece anyway. I've got a bit more to do here. It's probably going to fall apart on me now. So, but what a fantastic tool this one is. And as you can see, I can hollow that one-handed. Fantastic tool. It's not on my website at the moment. I'm afraid you're going to have to wait for it. It's not available at the moment. Right. We'll take that little nipple off. Yep, that's gone. Right, little bit on the bottom there. I'm going to be doing a deeper hollowing soon with that tool, because I'll do a bigger version as well on that. So, right, okay. Well, that's a bit of a shame that that's come through that side, but never mind. Let's just come in here. I've still got to take a little bit more of this down. We're not there yet. Now, I don't know if you can notice, I've got my handle quite low down. Tool's rolled over to 45, and I'm coming in here. I'm actually bringing the tool down. I'm not going straight across. I'm coming in. Trying to get that line. So, I mean, I'm starting, as you can see where centre is down there. I'm up here, I'm about 1 inch above centre. And I'm coming in on this, and I'm getting this, picking this cut up. So I can keep it gentle. I'm actually riding my bevel here on this side. Okay, as I always say to you, this bar is my bevel. Okay, that's what I use as my bevel on my carbide chisel. Now it's down. I see feather the lathe. That's what does it. I'm here. I'm working on the small lathe today. Right round on my tip. Right, I'm coming round. Let's have a look. It's a shame we went through the side actually. Look, we've actually got a big hole there, look. So I wanted to take this down a little bit more on here, but the trouble I'm having is I've got that hole and I think I'm going to lose it. I'm hollowed actually underneath that. I'm right through there, so it's a bit of a shot. I was busy talking, showing it, doing one-handed and all that, and it went through. But that was going to have a nice little lid on there and come. But I think what I'll have to do is do it with a better piece of wood. I don't even know whether to go any further on that, or whether to just call that quits. That hole's just going to keep opening bigger now. I just went too thin on the inside. I'm afraid. I am sorry about that. But there you go. These things happen. So what I wanted to do was get this down a little bit more here. I'm going to make a couple of more cuts just so I can show you the way I'm doing the cuts. Like I said, chisel is down. I'm right down here. Picking up the cut, for the come nut. I think I've taken the tips off really. Right, okay. So I'm going to have to pull that out because I think I've destroyed the side. Let me take the mask off. I've destroyed the side. I didn't take the tips. Oh yeah, that tip's broken off. See, this wood's not really very good, is it? It's a silly bit of wood to use, really. But never mind. You know, we was getting there. It could have worked out. But, right, you get the idea of what that's going to be. Hopefully you can. Let me just zoom you out a little bit. Just a little bit. Take you back out a bit. Alright, there you go. You can see what it was actually going to be like. But I don't know whether you can see where that's hollowed in there. I'm hoping you can see it, but I don't know. That goes right under there. You can see how far my finger's going under. That goes right under, and unfortunately, yeah, I came through the side there. I don't think I actually came through because it's still, I've still got quite a bit of thickness there. I think there must, it's just because it's this sort of, look, it literally just breaks, this wood. It's not the best of wood to use, was it really? So I think I'm going to do another one, but do with a decent piece of wood. But what I want to do is do a little bit of a hollowing and show you how that tool works. Because it's and there's a nasty knot inside, and there's a knot there, and a nasty knot in that bottom there as well, which is that knot there. Yeah, I still hollowed that out like that. Not one grab, not one bit of grab with that tool. Right, well there you go. Sorry about that. I don't know whether I'm going to upload this. If you see it, then obviously, well, obviously I did. And if you don't see it, then well, you won't even know, will you? So it's a waste of time saying about it. But there you go. We'll see what happens, and we get the next one out. Hopefully I'm going to do a deep hollower next. Right, okay. I'm going to bring it down here. Right, okay. Yeah, so with the tools, this video's gone on quite long, so I'm not going to do it right now. But what I'm going to do is get a piece of wood and demonstrate how these work. So we've got the here we go. Right, hang on, I've got this is the one here. I've got one made up. You've seen the short handle one, this is the long handle one, and this is my, as I say, my GT hollower that used to have the flat cutter. It now comes with a AU cutter, which is mounted on the bar to give a shear cut, and you work off that tip of that tool. And absolutely fantastic for hollowing and undercutting. It means I can keep the bar thinner as well, because there's no chance of grabbing. There's no grabbing. You don't have to do any of this holding on here. You just go straight in with it. It's stops all that when you've got a, like I say, when you've got one of these type of chisels, or when you've got one of these sort of chisels that goes in and round, you've always got to start here with this much overhanging your tool rest. Now the problem with that is it's already grabby, and then when you want to get in a bit and you come here, oh, you've got all this, and I can't be doing with none of that. I can't be doing, that's not wood turning, is it? That's not wood turning, that's hanging on for grim life, that is. Can't be doing none of that. This tool, like I've said, you see there, I can start here. I can actually start to hollow my bowl. I don't even have to drill a hole. I can actually start to come in where and work my way round. I can work off of all this. I can use all of this. That's the way I designed it. So I wanted to be able to use it all that way. So I can come in and I can use this, the tool, wherever it is on this tool rest, I can be using it. And when I get overhanging, I'm down here. When I get inside, because I've got a nice slim bar, I can get a good turn and I can get right in. And I'm working off of this tip. That cannot catch. When you come down into a bowl, that can't catch nothing on the bottom of a bowl. It can only cut when it's round on this tip. So you can come round and you can come all the way around your bowl. You can work all the way up the side of your bowl. And when you come to this end, then you've got to forsake and have a little bit of scraping for your undercutting, but then who's really ever going to see right under there? And that's just because, like I say, when you come round to there, you can work with the tool here and you can get in there and you can go right under. You can see how far that goes under, but you can actually work off the bottom. But if that's your tool there, you can actually come straight in and start right on that. And it's, yeah, works fantastic. Anyone gets one of these, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. And you won't be doing any of it. You won't be doing any of that grabbing, holding here, and there'll be none of that. You'll be standing there, one-handed, going, drink your cup of coffee, have a little go. Makes hollowing a doddle. That's what it's all about. And then the hope is that I'm going to get the bigger ones out as well. Now this is the big one. This goes a lot deeper. This is on a 12mm bar. That bar's got a 10 by 12mm, and this is 12mm. This is one I actually welded this one up for the pattern. I'm going to actually get this one done and have it done by water jet as well and get them cut. This is just my personal tool. So, but this I can actually hollow right down the whole way of the bar because there is absolutely no grab whatsoever. And I can work my way up the inside of a bowl and I can come up. Even if you're doing a straight vessel. So if you're doing a straight vessel, it's very hard, no matter what tools you've got, it's very hard to get a cut. It's all scrape. But because of the way my tools are angled, I can actually come in and I can get a straight, nice cut all the way up the inside of a vessel. Reduces all your sanding. So there you go. Right, sadly, nothing to show you at the end of that, but I hope some things did, hope you learnt something from it. Not to go too deep on a bowl, stop talking and concentrate on what you're doing, really. That's the answer to that one. And that way you won't go too deep and you won't end up putting a hole through it. But it's just where I go on that side. If I paid out for a lovely bit of exotic wood, and I did that, I'd be a bit gutted. But that's just a piece of fence post, you know, old fence post, just a bit of practice wood. And if you're new to turning, grab these sort of bits and you can see the tear out I was getting there, and the way you can practice by which way you have to go. I mean, you're never going to get a perfect finish on a piece of wood like this. No matter what, if you use your bowl gouges, your spindle gouges, whatever, you're never going to get a brilliant finish on these sort of woods, especially turning it the way I was turning it. The grain is going all over the place. And here, the problem here is the grain as I'm coming up or coming down, I'm lifting the grain. Even by cutting, I'm lifting it. But it would sand, it's a softwood, it sand up very quickly. But it's practice. It gets you to practice how can I get that clean? And that's what my turning has been based on getting as clean a cut as I can, as clean a finish. That's why with the carbide tools, I don't like the rough fit. I don't use them as scrapers because they are just to go in flat. Terrible finish, absolutely terrible finish on them. You're so much sanding. But that is because you're just going in flat with any scrape. If you used to do this with any scrapers, you know, if you use one of your round nose negative rate scrapers, yeah, you'll get a cleaner finish, but you'll have to be going back to your grinder every you get 2 or 3 goes, you'll have to go back to the grinder and raise the burr again. Or you have to be getting your file out trying to raise the burr. But that's only going to work for so much. It's going to take you forever. But you'll get a slightly cleaner finish. But what I tried to do was, how can I get a clean finish with a carbide tool? And these are the cuts that I've learned to do with it, and the way I've learned to use it, and that you can use it that way. And that's what gets you your clean finishes. And that's what these videos are about. It's, for me, because as I say, a lot of my turning is speed. I like to sand as little as possible. So I want as good a cut. For me, I'm always trying to get the cut that doesn't need sanding. Don't need to put sandpaper on it. That's what I want. And my thing is to get tools that don't catch. I try to make my tools so they don't catch. The shear cut hollow, anyone that's has purchased one of those will know that unless you do something very silly, you roll it the wrong way, they're impossible to get a catch with. You just cannot get a catch with it. You can come in on a deep hollow, because as long as you're working off the front of that tool, the cutter's at that angle, it's impossible for it to catch. It will just come round. The only time you'll get a catch is if you've rolled it over further or whatever. But it's for beginners especially, but also for experienced turners. It just makes it more pleasurable to use when you're not getting catches and it's not grabbing all the time. And with the other tools, the standard cutters, like I say, if you roll them over and you get the cut right, it's fine. You can get a nice finish. As I say, I'm not saying you won't get a better finish with a bowl gouge. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But can you use a bowl gouge? Can you sharpen a bowl gouge? You know, that takes time, and it takes years of practice to be able to do things and come in and get a real nice cut. That's continuous, smooth cut round on a bowl. I can do it. I use my tools every day, so I'm experienced enough with them. I can get a lovely fit. I mean, that would have been a doddle with a bowl gouge or spindle gouge even, but that's not what this is about. So I'm not going to use them for that. This is about carbide tools and what you can do with them, because they've got a pretty. They've been put down. People are very anti carbide. I don't know why. It's just another tool to me. You know, it's a tool. It doesn't matter what you're using. It's what the tool is. But that's how people are. But yeah, I don't say you can't get a better cut on a bowl gouge. You can, but only if you can use it. And it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of sharpening before you get to know what grinds you want. Everyone's different. Some like a 55 degrees, some like a 50, some like a 45, some like a 40. You know, it depends. You know, a 40-40 grind or a 45-45 grind, and it takes time. As a beginner, you won't even understand what that all is, and it takes time to learn. But you can get a lot of practice, because the cuts I did there, coming in here with that carbide, is exact cut you would use with a bowl gouge. You wouldn't do anything any different there. You would come in the same, you would follow it round, you would ride your bevel and you would come round. Sets you up for using it, but you ain't got to keep going back to your grinder and grinding. You ain't got to worry about whether you got a correct sharpening jig. And less likely, if you get it slightly wrong, you got your tool rolled slightly wrong with a bolt, you will get a nasty catch. If that wing catches, you know, that's a nasty catch. With the carbide, as you see, it's not. And when I've got a little catch, it's just, oops, oh, I've got a catch there. No drama, nothing. That's all it is a tiny little, and that's it. But anyway, that's enough of me rabbiting on. You can all get back to, oops, that's going in the bin anyway. There we go. I'll let you all get back to what you're doing, and I've got things to do. So, right, have a good one, and toodle pip.